Hey, how's it going? Good morning, I should say. I'm doing this in the morning. How is that possible? Don't I have work to do? Oh, I do. I just have a pocket of time, so I'm going to spend my time with you, talk about some things that are on my mind, that grind my gears, that piss me off, and maybe you share the same thoughts I do. Great, let me know in the comment section. If you don't, even better, let me know in the comment section, okay? All right, or in the chat, hey, we're doing this live, so... First thing I want to talk about, liberals killing babies. And I mean that literally. I'm not talking about just, oh, it's in the womb, so it doesn't count because it's not a baby yet. I'm talking like it's born and now they want to kill it. That's not cool with me, man. Like, I don't, like, if you think abortions are right, okay, I can entertain that thought. I can have that discussion. But if you think that a baby that is born, that gets out of the womb, it's out of the vag, it's out of the body, it's not in the woman's body anymore. It's out, it's living, it's breathing, it's crying. And they want, these certain extremist liberals want to have a bill, want to make it possible for you to just kill the baby after it's been born. This is not even hyperbolic. This is real. What? What sort of monster would do that? What sort of monster hates babies that much where they just want to kill them? And it'll be like, oh, but it's a woman's choice. If the baby's already born and out of the body, how can you even entertain that argument? How can you even entertain that argument? It's not even the woman's choice anymore. It is, first off, my personal opinion. Okay, isn't getting me in trouble. Because I'm not allowed to have personal opinions, right? A man's not allowed to have personal opinions. But, the thing about abortion, that's interesting. They'll say, oh, it's a woman's body, so it's her right to choose. Okay, but what about the body inside her body? I know that body can't make a decision yet, but it's not like they're part of the discussion. And what about the dad, right? Because the body that's inside her body, part of that body, part of the DNA, is his DNA, right? He should have a stake in it, right? Look, I understand if you need to have an abortion because of some serious issues, some big issues, okay, all right, okay. I'm not totally against it, but it just seems weird to make it to where, oh, as a form of birth control, oh, I just got pregnant, oop, let's just zap it. Let's just zap it, which that does happen. Liberals will say, oh, that doesn't happen. Man, what is the crazy stat right now that more babies have died through abortion, more lives have died through abortion than through like the Civil War and stuff? It's like crazy, man. Like you're just zapping them, zap, 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 zap. Oh, it's horrible, but this is real. I'm not making this up. Kirsten Gillibrand opposes a bill to stop people from murdering babies after birth. She opposes the bill that will stop people from murdering a baby after birth. I mean, there is a line between being a wacko leftist and a wacko leftist extremist. And this is it. I think this is it. There's a name for this. It's called infanticide, right? Like, it was funny when it was in Mortal Kombat, but this isn't funny. Like, the baby's born, and what they'll say is, oh, they tried to abort it, but the abortion failed. Man, if the baby's born after a failed abortion, isn't that God giving you the finger? Isn't that God doing like a divine intervention saying, you tried to kill this baby, but nope, the baby comes out. I mean, if you try to abort your baby and you still give birth to it, and it's still crying and living and breathing and pooping, all that stuff, then I think that's God's way of saying, nope, you're going to have this baby. And guess what? Guess what, liberals? Guess what? It's not all y'all. It's some. Guess what? If you still don't want to have the baby, there's other alternatives besides killing it. You don't have to kill the baby. You could give it up for adoption. You could give it to someone. You could do that. There's processes in place for that. You could just give it to CPS and let them deal with it. You don't have to kill it. But Kirsten Gillibrand will say that this is part of Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell's all-out assault on women. Really? It's a woman's right to kill the baby? That's what she's saying. According to Gillibrand, they're trying to harm women. They're trying to take away their civil rights. I'm sorry. Where does it say in the Bill of Rights or in the Constitution that women have a civil right to just murder babies? Where does it say that? Nowhere. You know why? Because it's not a fucking right. I'm not talking about in your womb either. I'm talking like it is born, it's out, it's crying, it's screaming, kicking, living, trying to live, but the mom wants to be this evil cunt to just kill it. We're talking about a horror story, right? These posters, these bloody posters on the wall, they're from the horror stories I put out there. That's all fantasy land. That's all horrible fantasy land. But they want to make this a reality. This is crazy. This is barbaric. This is something you would see in a movie, right? Where an evil villain takes a baby and just rips it and kills it. Ha ha ha. Man, I can't believe this. This is where we are. This is where we are. This is where we are. Where it's about killing a literal baby. So yeah, Kristen, she opposes. She opposes the bill. She opposes the bill. The Senate voted on the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. Good title. Which would require medical personnel to give aid to a baby born alive after surviving an abortion attempt. In other words, it stops abortionists from killing living babies outside the womb. I mean, this should be a no-brainer, right? Who's for this? But the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act was defeated a 53-44 vote because, again, liberals want to kill babies. At least the extreme ones do. I have some liberal friends that, okay, I don't know really. I mean, they say, but it speaks volumes, man. Apparently, they want to kill babies. They just want to kill babies. How do y'all feel about that? Crazy? Not for that? Y'all like that? Y'all want to get in line for that? Don't get me wrong here. Don't come at me unless you know what my stance is. I said before that I think it's there's a benefit. It's helpful. There's a time and a place, some situations where abortion could be considered and could be done. Right? Don't want to make it illegal, but want to make it. Don't want to make it some like just form of just getting rid of the baby just because you just don't want to have a baby. I mean, there's all sorts of measures to prevent getting pregnant. There's so many. But even if that fails, guess what? You could just give it up. You could just give it away. You don't have to kill it. You don't have to be a murderer, right? Anyway. All right. I think I killed that story. I think I killed it. Let's talk about this piece of shit. Dylan fucking Roof. Dylan Roof. The white supremacist murderous asshole that killed what? Did he kill 9 people? 9 people that were at church. They're at church minding their own business, doing Bible study, and this racist piece of shit, this horrible haircut motherfucker. I had a haircut like that when I was a kid, so I can't really be too hard. This bowl cut motherfucker goes up to the church and murders everybody. Shoots it up. He's in prison. You know, usually when they do stuff like this, they off themselves. So it's hard to really get a statement from them. It's hard to really put them in prison and see what happened, but he didn't off himself. He didn't have that chance. Maybe he tried to and he failed. Maybe he ran out of bullets. I don't know. But he's in prison now and he's complaining about prison life. He's complaining about prison life, that things are too hard in prison life. Really? I mean, Dylann Roof deserves everything he gets in prison. He's complaining about prison life, saying that it's too tough, too hard. It's like, okay, cry me a river. You killed a bunch of black people. Now you're crying because they're paying it back. They're doing things to you that you don't like. You don't like. They're violating you. Oh, that's just prison life. That's prison life. No one's gonna help you. The COs, they're not gonna help you. They don't care about you. You're a piece of shit. Complaining. Let's see, according to the article here, white supremacist mass murderer Dylann Roof staged a hunger strike this month while on federal death row, alleging in letters to the Associated Press that he's been targeted by staff. Good. I hope they target you harder. Verbally harassed and abused without cause. Oh, there's plenty of cause. They need to slap you around, son, throw you to the wall, and let Tyrone and his buddies come in and run chain on you. Turn you in, make you cry like the little bitch you are, Dylann Roof. That's what they need to do. Treated disproportionately harsh. Motherfucker, you took 9 lives from people who had nothing to do with you. You could be treated harsher. Much harsher. Dylann Roof, who killed 9 black people, the church members during a Bible study in Charleston in 2015, told AP in a letter dated February 13 that staff at the federal prison in Indiana feel justified in the conduct. I could see why. I can understand why. I wonder where they get that justification, huh? A person familiar with the matter said Roof had been on a hunger strike but was no longer on one. As of this week, the person couldn't immediately provide specific details about the length of the hunger strike or whether medical staff needed to intervene. The person wasn't authorized to discuss the matter publicly and spoke to AP on condition of being anonymous. Roof wrote in a letter to AP that he went on hunger strike to protest the treatment he received for the Bureau of Prisons disciplinary hearing officer over earlier complaints that he was refused access to the law library and access a copy machine to file legal papers. I just want to file legal papers, so we'll go to the library. All those 9 people wanted to do was study about the Bible, study about Jesus. That's all they wanted to do, and you took their lives, motherfucker. Man, it was up to me, there'd be a Judge Dredd program and you would be dead. But it's not up to me. Thank your lucky stars. Anyway. Roof's February 13th letter indicated he was already several days into a hunger strike, and he wrote a follow-up letter. Protest ended a day later after correction officers forcibly tried to take his blood and insert an IV into his arm, causing him to briefly pass out. Get used to that. I think you are in line. I think your fate has it where you're going to get that very lethal IV. Hopefully soon. I don't know why it takes so long. It shouldn't have to take so long, right? Just do it. Just do it. Anyway, I feel confident that I could have gone much longer. An article without food, wrote in the February 16th follow-up letter. It's just not worth being murdered over. oh, it's not worth being murdered over. Oh, that's how you feel about it. What about all those people that are at the church, huh? I guess that doesn't matter, huh? Allegations. Roof's lawyer said in a statement they were working with the BOP to resolve issues addressed in the letters. Now, keep in mind with the lawyers, they have to defend their client no matter what, right? So the lawyer's just doing his job. You might not like the job, but you like it when you need to be defended. Okay? I like how the Roos lawyers filed an appeal to the federal convictions and death sentence last month, arguing that he was mentally ill. He's mentally ill. That's what they're. That's what the lawyer is paid to do. That's what he has to do. Okay, whether it wins or not, that's up to the judge to decide. That's up to the court to decide, right? Okay. I mean, this person killed a bunch of black people in church, trying to start a race war. And when he was picked up, he received what? He got takeout. The cops took him to Burger King. He got a Whopper. Man, being mistreated. That mistreatment needs to come harder, son. That's how I feel about this. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? What do you think about that, huh? All right. Let's talk about anime. Why am I talking about anime? Well, apparently in Australia, they want to go after anime. They want to. An Australian senator demands all Japanese anime and manga to be reviewed for child exploitation. Because the illustrated children are being exploited. We got to think about these fictional characters, right? The poor fictional characters are being exploited. We're in delusional land, man. We're in fantasy land. We're worried about the rights of fictional make-believe figures. You got feminists worried about the rights of video game characters, about how much cleavage is shown, how much ass is shown. You got these senators worried about the children in anime. And I understand there's this thing called lolly. Okay. That there is illustrations to look like children, to be done in a certain way, for a certain way, to entertain a certain mindset. People that would be aroused by the depiction of children, illustrated children, in very gross sexual ways, right? Indecent ways. That there, if you're turned on by that, then what would stop you from being turned on by a real thing? I'm not talking about lolly. I'm not talking about that. Okay? That's something else. That's something that is designed with the intent to arouse, with the intent to entertain, not just entertain, but get a certain people off. Pedos. Get pedos off. Okay. Anyway, but let's talk about anime here. Because in this article, what the Australian senator is talking about isn't lolly. No. They're talking about like Sword Art Online, or Goblin Slayer. Now, I'm familiar with Goblin Slayer. I know what they're talking about. With the first episode where there's the I don't even know how old she is. How old is she supposed to be? I don't even know. Maybe do they even say the age? I guess they do. It doesn't really matter. But there's a scene in the first episode, just like in the manga, where the first band of people to go after the goblins are all killed and raped, pretty much. Killed, and then one chick is raped. And when it's done so, you don't see any nudity. It's like it's showing the rape without being sexualized, or not, without glorifying the sexual part of it, but honing in on the horrifying act of it. That's the point of that scene. That's the purpose of that. To really sell that these goblins are very horrible monsters that deserve no empathy. That way, when the Goblin Slayer comes in to kill them all, you don't feel any empathy whatsoever. Fuck all goblins. Kill all goblins. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. I'm not even familiar with No Game, No Life. It includes underage incest. You know, being that this article here is trying to depict Goblin Slayer as having where underage characters are tortured or raped by goblins, I'm already pressing exit out on what they're saying about the incest part of No Game, No Life. Okay? But even if it does have parts of that, it's like, well, what is that? What's going on there? Is that part of the story? Okay, all right. I mean, if in the anime they're having explicit sex and there's all sorts of nudity of like these depicted underage girls, I'm not worried about it because of the fictional characters. Okay, my question would be like, okay, well, what's going on here? I mean, is it something that's going to like get like pedos off or whatever? I mean, and I guess someone could make the argument, well, what about the Goblin Slayer scene? Someone could be aroused by that. They could be, but I don't think that was the purpose of that at all. And that's me, I guess, trying to go into someone's mindset and try to assume intent, right? But I can safely do that because at least I feel that I can anyway, because there wasn't like this focus on nudity in that. It was the focus on the horrible act and the horror of it all. There's a line there. I understand it's blurry. It's hard to really get down, but there's a line there. Anyway, the senator says the rape of children is abundant in manga, like the series Goblin Slayer, which in my office we showed to a number of people today, and we're absolutely horrified. See, we're talking. They want to get rid of Goblin Slayer. They want to get rid of that. Get rid of that scene. No, that scene should stay. Absolutely. In Goblin Slayer, children are often portrayed in fighting, and if fighting are resisting, but they're also shown enjoying sexual abuse, enjoying it. I don't know what they're talking about. What is he talking about? Anyway, as I've said, experts say that pedophiles are using material to groom children. No, if they want to use materials to groom children, they would use like Lolly or something like that. Or you know what else is grooming children? Just the these other cartoons that are on right now. Not anime. Man, there's all these weird cartoons now where people doing kind of weird sexual things or implied sexual things. Like, what's going on with that? I think it really focus on Goblin Slayer. Let's see. Goblin Slayer has been particularly controversial anime and manga. Screen Rant explains. The show builds a fantasy world based on the idea that there's a race of monsters out there willing to rape anyone they come across. Yes, and that's not. Yeah, those are goblins. Kill all goblins. Kill all goblins. The senator said that such scenes may not be illegal in Japan, but they are here. Well, Australia's fucked. Australia's fucked if that's the case. In America, they're not illegal. They're not illegal, nor should they be. What do you think about that? They're going after your anime. They're really trying to go after it. And what's interesting is the way the anime scene is right now. Funimation would totally be up for it. Funimation would totally be up for getting rid of problematic scenes. I think it's a load of bull. I think it's a load of bull. I think it's absolutely bull crap. That's what I think. Anyway, I wanted to spend some time with you this morning and go over this stuff. If you like it, let me know. Press the like button, share, and subscribe. You guys, ladies, take it easy.